I just wish there was a way that we as a family could all apologize for the lousy way that Ned's treated you.
Well, I've tried to do that, A.J.
Well, she's too good for him, in my opinion.
Ned's behavior was inexcusable, granted. But I'm hoping that Lois will forgive him.
Well, why should she? He's not going to reform. Ned is probably about the most duplicitous, selfish man on the face of the earth.
Gee, Alan Jr., tell me about it.
He's got no sense of family, Lois. He's got absolutely no concept of responsibility to anyone except himself. And it didn't just start with you. I mean, he's been on my case since he figured out that I was a threat to him, and kicking me out of the hotel, well, that's only the latest.
I'm afraid A.J. and Ned are very competitive.
I'm out for no good reason other than the fact that I'm better at it than he is. Well, that and the fact that he can get away with it. Believe me, you're better off without him. In fact, I was sent in to tell you that your presence is requested in the den.
Edward?
Yes, ma'am.
Think about what I said, dear. And remember, you're welcome in this house at any time.
Thank you, Mrs. Q. I really appreciate that.
I think she's afraid to leave me alone with you.
I wonder why. There's no need to worry. I can take care of myself, Alan Jr.
Well, that's a good thing, Lois, because Ned certainly won't. Did I just say that?
Yeah. And it was gratuitous.
I'm sorry. That was my clumsy attempt at solidarity. I'm sorry about Ned, and my own feelings about him and the way he's treated me are running pretty close to the surface. I think I was probably over-identifying.
I can understand that.
You know what Grandmother said about you being welcome here any time? She meant it. And I hope you're not going to avoid the family. Especially me.
AJ, is that a come-on?
What, you thought I was coming on to you? Just, come on, Lois. Ned and I have got enough bad blood between us without adding you to the list of battlefields. But I will say this. I think Ned was a fool for the way that he treated you.
Nobody's asking you. Not Lois, not me. So if you want to stay in one piece, you'll keep your opinions to yourself. You waited.
Don't read too much into it. I stayed to talk to your grandmother.
Hey, Ned, how's the other Mrs. Ashton doing?
Catherine is in the OR with a fractured skull.
Shouldn't you be there, Nedley?
I'm exactly where I want to be. And no matter how many times you push me away, I'll come back. Because I'm not going to let you go.
It's your time. Waste it however you want.
You know, for me, the best part of the family meeting was when you announced that you would refuse to give me a divorce.
Don't read too much into that one either.
I'd be happy to recommend a good attorney if you...
You know, what we need, AJ, is for you to butt out.
Excuse me. Speak for yourself. AJ, I am sorry our conversation was interrupted. Perhaps we could do it again sometime.
Well, you know, Lois, that would be my pleasure. You call, I'll be there. After all, the gatehouse is right down the path.
AJ, stay away from the gatehouse.
Maybe lunch.
Maybe dinner.
Maybe both. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you, or maybe not.
Lois, please, just stay.
You know what? Tonight might have been business as usual for you Quartermains, but us regular citizens can only tolerate so much. Good night, Nedley.
You take a walk down that path, and you will deeply regret it. Lois is off limits to you, you hear me?
Enough with the threats, cousin.
It's the only language you seem to understand. Lois is my wife.
Well, one of them at least.
No, she is my only wife, and she's going to stay that way.
You could have fooled me.
Lois is stubborn, and she's very angry. But I will win her back.
You know, Ned, next thing you're going to be tilting at windmills.
I'm warning you. Do not get in my way, AJ.
Poor, desperate Ned. You know, you got yourself into this whole thing.
Oh, no, I can share responsibility with Catherine, Alan.
Come on, Ned, it's me. Come on, I remember all the little numbers you were playing on Lois long before Catherine was ever involved.
You don't know the half of what she's done.
Well, I'm sure you'll be happy to tell me, but the fact remains that no matter how much you, or Lois, or me, or anybody in this house dislikes Catherine, you got yourself into this mess. I just wonder when you're going to take responsibility for it.
No, we'll leave. You know, I promised Lily and Miguel that I would take them over to meet Ruby. Miguel, come on. So we'll see you later, okay?
Please don't look at me that way.
How am I supposed to look at you? With love? With trust?
Well, then don't look at me then. Just close your eyes and listen.
No. No more games.
Lois, please, let me try to explain.
Oh, explain what? How I dropped every defense known to mankind? How I believed in you more than I believed in anybody else in my entire life? Why don't you explain to me where I left my brains?
You were right to trust. And you are always right to tell the truth.
Please, enough with this truth business. Doesn't fly with you Quartermaines.
Would you like to know what you accomplished by telling Commissioner Donnelly the truth about the family?
Your family deserved it. I've never seen a more self-serving pack of wolves in my entire lifetime, lounging around in their designer silk robes, dissecting each other and everybody else. Somebody had to tell the truth.
You're right. You're right. I couldn't agree more. Which is why I came down here. To thank you. And to tell you what's happened as a result. You have freed me from the blackmail. And once again, you've saved my life.
How does that work?
Well, Sean now knows what happened. But he has no way of proving anything without any corroborating evidence, which he won't find, or if Alan confesses, which he won't do. So, Sean has decided to drop the case. Therefore, Catherine has no weapons to blackmail me. She's defanged completely. Not to mention comatose. We're free.
That happened because of what I did?
With the help of Monica. She and Sean go way back, and she called in a few chips.
Yeah, okay. Now we're getting to it. I mean, God forbid the truth stand on its own without calling in a few favors. I mean, is the entire town as corrupt as you Quartermaines?
No, we take the cake. But Sean is a man who knows when he's fighting a losing battle, and he had the good sense to give up gracefully.
Why don't you do the same?
Because there's no way, and there's no reason why we can't go on with our lives now that Catherine is out of our lives.
And now you're going to tell me that's what you wanted all along, to get out of your marriage to her?
Yes, desperately.
Oh, yeah? Desperately enough to kill her?
Of course not. I mean, you know me better than that.
Ashton, I think it's safe to say I know you not at all.
All right, okay. You know what I mean.
Assuming I do, who did poison Catherine?
I don't know. And I don't particularly care. I'm much more interested in you and me. And mainly you.
You know, dear Catherine, before she was poisoned, said something very interesting. She said that men get very obvious when they're desperate. I think this is a perfect example. So I'm supposed to believe this routine?
It's not a routine. Listen to me. I will do anything to win you back.
And at the risk of stating the obvious, you have had plenty of chances and you chose to lie.
Don't you understand how many times I wanted to tell you the truth? And every time I tried, something went wrong.
You chicken out.
In a sense, yes.
And then you were afraid you were going to blow your little game.
No, I knew that the family was still under Catherine's thumb, and I was afraid of what she might do. Lois, please listen. I only married Catherine because of the blackmail, and I only allowed her to push us around until I could find something to hold over her.
I've heard enough.
If I had found something earlier, I would have used it to get rid of her. I would have.
I think you better go now.
All right. Okay. I'll go. But only for now. Don't you understand how many times I wanted to tell you the truth? And every